Heads Up Play podcast. This is Cowboy. We got Sweaty Boy in the house. Sweaty Boy, what's up, my man?
What's up, everybody? Heads Up Play. Heads Up Play. Heads Up Play. Episode number 6 coming to you here on this Wednesday night is when we're recording, so I might just release it a day early here on Thursday. You never know. As you may see, John J-Dub, he was missing last episode. He's missing right now, but he will join us here in a little bit when it comes to college football and a little bit of baseball. He'll hop on with us. He's got some other plans. We're recording a day early. It's all my fault, so he's making it work with his schedule, so we appreciate him.
Tell him why you're missing. It's not your fault. It's not like you're going to the dentist. You're actually going to a concert.
Going to a concert, the one and only Trey Lewis. Yes, my freaking dog.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Trey Lewis, if you do not know, he is very famous. He has a very famous song on TikTok. I don't want to say what it is, but I will tell you. I'm trying to think on how I describe Trey Lewis, because I don't want to be in trouble.
DDID. I'll just say blanked down in Dallas.
Yes. He's getting in Dallas and Raleigh.
Yeah, very family friendly.
Yeah.
In Tennessee. Well, we got a lot to get to on this episode, aside from singing. So, Cowboy, we got some college basketball coming up. I know you're a huge college basketball fan. I'm a big fan, too, especially of Alabama basketball. You are a huge Alabama basketball fan. Alabama had a good season last year, expected to finish 5th for that's what they've said for the past 5 years under Nate Oates. Yeah, however long it's been. But
it wasn't a bad season for Alabama basketball. But if you're an Alabama fan and you watched every game last year, you knew they underperformed so bad last year, losing in the Sweet 16. It was a little bit better that they lost to a team that was in the championship game to UConn. And you played against UConn earlier in the season. You lost to UConn. UConn was a really good team last year, but we're going to kick it off college basketball. We do have some sad breaking news. One of the greatest college basketball coaches has died. Bobby Knight has died at the age of 83.
Just found that out not too long ago.
Literally, we're getting ready to set this all up, and we get ESPN notifications. Bobby Knight, one of the greatest coaches of all time, notoriously known for his temper tantrums and all that. My dad coached basketball, and he kind of did all the Bobby Knight-ish. Throwing the chairs, all that stuff. Bobby Knight.
Would you say that Bobby Knight, maybe Nick Saban, is kind of the Bobby Knight of football in terms of the temper tantrums and the success? I mean, 3-time national champion. Nick Saban's won a lot of national champions, both high temper, both coached when they're really old. Bobby Knight played at Ohio State, of course. Coached most of his years at Indiana. A little bit at Texas Tech. Record, Bobby Knight. Very good. 902 wins, 371 losses. For basketball, that is really good.
I'm telling you, basketball, in my opinion, I've always said it is so much harder to win a championship in basketball than in football. I mean, oh my gosh. If you can win one championship in basketball, that's on equivalent to me like 3 in college.
For him to win 3 of them, I mean, he went to the Final Four 5 times, won the Big Ten 11 times. Fantastic coach. Did it say how he died or what was the cause of death?
I don't know the cause of death. It hasn't been released. If I was a betting man, just old age, he was 83.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of thought he already was dead, but
he was 83. So I mean, he was up there.
R.I.P. Bob Knight, one of the greatest to ever do it in college basketball. Let's get into college basketball, though. Top 25 preseason poll was released. Next Monday is starting college basketball, and actually we'll have an episode released dedicated to only SEC basketball preview, me and Sweaty Boy. Top 25. We got Illinois at 25. We got Alabama at 24. We got St. Mary's at 23. Villanova at 22. USC Fighting Trojans at 21. 20, you got the Baylor Bearcats. 19, you got North Carolina Tar Heels. 18, you got Texas. 17, you got the reigning, or I guess second place, San Diego State. 16, you got the Wildcats of Kentucky. 15, you got the Aggies of Texas A&M. 14, you got the Razorbacks of Arkansas. You got kind of a 3 heavy hitters of SEC ball right there. 13, you got Miami. 12, you got Arizona. 11, you got Gonzaga. 10, the Cinderella run last year made it all the way to the Final Four. Florida Atlantic. 9, you got the Volunteers of Tennessee. You got the Creighton. You have 7, the Cougars of Houston. 6, you got UConn, the reigning national champ. The surprise team, number 5, you have Marquette. 4, you got the Spartans of Michigan State. 3, Purdue Boilermakers. And you got 2 Duke and 1 who I think is probably the best team. You got Kansas. Kansas is good this year. I mean, them getting Hunter Dickerson from Michigan. I don't know if you're aware, Hunter Dickerson he was the number 1 player in the portal. Him transferring was massive. I mean, he was Michigan basketball for the long time. I mean, them getting a center like that is, to me, sets them up so much. But leads me to the question, Sam. Who do you think out of the top 25 is going to be some good teams? So who do you think out of the top 25 is just going to be a bust?
Well, I agree with you. I think Kansas is probably rightfully the number 1. Ken Palm has Purdue at number 1. I think we just ran through AP had them at number 3, correct?
Yep, had him at 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how Gonzaga does this year, for sure. After a little bit of a fall off last year, I in the SEC, and we're going to make a whole video about preseason SEC, little SEC basketball preview. I think it's probably Tennessee's conference to win there. Don't sleep on Arkansas, though. I'm going to get into Arkansas in that video. So y'all look out. SEC basketball preview going to come out soon.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of like the rankings right now. Nothing crazy. I think Alabama at 24. I know I'm a homer. I think that's a little low, but I know we're not returning too many guys.
We had to basically we had to get a whole new roster. I'll tell you a team though to watch out for. Watch out for Florida Atlantic. I think they can stay. They have every single one of their starters coming back. I think they can be good. Look out for UConn. Look out for Marquette. I'm telling you though, Kansas. I cannot speak enough about Kansas. And I'll tell you another team that scares me. At the 12th spot, Arizona, with the transfer card, they got Caleb Love from Michigan, and they have Jaden Bradley from Alabama. I think Arizona. I think they could be good this year. I like this Arizona team. Look out for Arizona. Well, speaking of college basketball, we had the 2024 class recruiting had a huge story breakout. Cooper Flagg, the number 1 player in the nation. I don't know, Sam, if you've seen highlights of this. This kid he's good.
He is a social media. That's like the big thing now. Is like if especially I think with basketball, is like social media is like the recruiting hub, like TikTok and Instagram. If you're good at basketball or baseball, who was that baseball guy that went to the Orioles? Jackson Holiday.
Holiday.
All over TikTok. But yeah,
I feel like all the sports, if you can have a good basketball highlight tape, even over NFL, you can just get a scholarship off of that.
Oh, I agree. Interesting that Cooper Flagg is from Maine. I thought that was interesting. You don't really hear of too many guys coming from Maine, especially rated his high.
And he's had mixtures and like comparison of Giannis, Tatum, Paul George, Frank Wagner. My bad, not Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner's not a good. Frank Wagner. I think when you have Giannis, Tatum, and Paul George, are the people they're comparing you to. I mean, you're set to be a stud. The reason why this kid is such a big deal, and why we're even talking about it in 2024 NBA mock draft, they have him going number 1 overall in that draft. So he's already given the title of he is going to be the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
That going to Duke, it just goes again. Duke don't matter who's coaching. It's the name. Go into the name. I mean, Coach K's not there no more. Is he he's probably the greatest basketball coach of all time. He is the Saban of college basketball. But
Your mic's running a little low there. We're pros here at Heads Up Play. Yeah, I mean, I look at Duke
check.
with.
Yo, there we go.
You're good now. With the commitment of Cooper Flagg, they've got the number one recruiting class for 2024. They've got him. They've got Isaiah Evans from North Carolina. Con Newport, I think that's how you pronounce it. Both 5 stars, 98 overall per 24/7. Duke, I think they're going to be good for a long time. I mean, basketball is very different from college football. It's harder to have a run of championship dominance in basketball like it is in football. It's easier to win a national championship with a good team in football, I think, than it is with basketball, simply because of the playoff format and March Madness. But yeah, I think Duke, they got it going, man. They really do. And Cooper Flagg, he is very impressive for sure.
No, you're right. You're right. So, we talked a little bit about college basketball, high school recruitment. We need to talk about the NBA. There was a huge trade these past few days, and it happened. I mean, I woke up and I was like, wait a minute. Whoa. Clippers get the beard himself, no Garden, James Harden. They get James.
He was
Harden.
asking for it. He was asking for it. I mean, I was shocked it happened. Got him, PJ Tucker, Flip. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. Who they? And then the Sixers, in return for Harden, they got Marcus Morris, one of the twins of the Morris brothers, Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, KJ Martin, son of Kenyon Martin. They got 2 first-round picks and I think a pick swap. I think that's a pretty good haul for the. I think it's a win-win on both sides though. When you can get a starting lineup of possibly Westbrook or hear me out, you can have Harden at the 1, George at the 2, 3 Powell or Leonard. Power forward you can have. I'm drawing a blank. But I think if you can have a lineup though with Westbrook at the 1, Harden at the 2, George at the 3, Leonard at the 4, Ivan Zubac at the 5, I think that's as tough as it gets right there in the NBA. But I mean, Harden going over there, and the Sixers, I mean, their bench is, I mean, it's stacked now. I mean, you can't. From what I've seen among Philly fans who have kind of been in the dumps recently with the performance of the Phillies, they seem to like this trade a lot, which is a little surprising to me. Where are we at?
They've been so much. It's sad.
They have. Where are we at with James Harden? Where do you think, is he on a trajectory that is on a good path, or is he getting a little old? Who do you like? Who got the better end of this deal? Clippers or the Sixers?
It depends. I think that Clippers do if James Harden can realize that he don't need to be the number 1. Because the number 1's Kawhi Leonard. In my opinion, when Kawhi Leonard's on, he's on. Like, you can't stop him. He needs to realize that. If he doesn't realize that, then I'm going to give it to the Sixers because they got rid of James Harden. They put behind the whole Ben Simmons era. They traded Ben Simmons to James Harden. Like, they're just done with that era. It's over. It's over. It was painful for the Sixers fans. I feel for him. The whole Ben Simmons stuff. Getting traded for James Harden, then James Harden not want to play with the Sixers is kind of like, well, crap. Like, we're a good organization. Like, does somebody want to play for us? What's anybody at this point?
Does this propel the Clippers at all this season to make any sort of a run?
Oh, this is it. If they don't make it this year, they're tearing it down. Because, I remember when Leonard and George came to the Clippers, it was, oh my gosh, these guys are going to win it all. And they have not played together because one of them's always injured. They have to do it. They have to do it. This is the year they win it. If they don't, they're tearing it down. They're done. They're getting old now. They're all getting over 32.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that is a good discussion on our basketball side of things. We are soon going to, after this episode, we'll switch it over. We're about to hop on with J-Dub, John Wesley Woodham, talk a little bit of football. And then after that, be sure to look out for our SEC basketball preview and predictions. We're going to go a little bit more in depth with each of those teams. But without further ado, let's bring in John Wesley Wondham, Mr. J Dub. All right, joining us now. You have missed him. You missed him last episode. Unfortunately, he is back. Talk a little World Series and a little college football. We got the one and only J Dub, Mr. John Wesley Woodham. John, let's talk about the World Series real quickly. You and I, we both picked the Snakes. I picked the Snakes, I think, in 7. I think you also picked them in 6 or 7.
I said 7.
Yeah, so we're right there together, and our picks aren't looking so great right now. The Rangers have been basically dominating the past couple of games in Chase Field. It looked kind of like the Diamondbacks series to take at the beginning, and then the man, the myth, the Braves killer, Corey Seager, and Adolis Garcia, who is out of the World Series now, won them that game. They're up now 3-1. What is everybody's thoughts on where this is going? Because I think we all kind of know where it's going. It'll take a miracle for the Diamondbacks to pull this out.
I think it would take a miracle for them to pull it out too, but I'm not totally putting that out of the question. We have seen teams blow 3-1 leads plenty of times. We are guilty of that, but it's an interesting series, man, because the game 1 should have been Diamondbacks. That whole game was Diamondbacks from the get-go. And you'd be talking about a much different scenario had they actually pulled that off.
100%.
But with that being said, I don't think that, it's a big story that Adolis Garcia and Max Scherzer are both out, but I don't think that necessarily takes them away from anything. I mean, you saw what they did last night. Truth be told, they're probably better without Max Scherzer. I mean, he hadn't been the best, but yeah, Adolis, that hurts because that dude, he's putting up historical numbers. But I mean, even if he played, I think that Corey Seager is still going to be the MVP.
I think he has to be. Now, it does. We talked last episode. Cowboy asked me if I thought that Adolis Garcia could pass Randy Arozarena's postseason record of what was it, 10 or 11 runs?
Those 10, yeah.
And now that's not going to be able to happen. I thought he was well on pace to do so. Not going to happen. But I agree. I do think that the Snakes, they call them the answer backs this season for a reason. I mean, they pulled 2 out of Philly. They won 2 in Philly, which I gave them a 5% chance of doing that, and they did it. So, I mean, they could do it, but it seems like the Rangers if I had to put money on it, I think they're winning tonight. They haven't proven that they lose on the road this postseason, so I think that's where we're going. Cowboy, what's your thoughts?
Well, I don't like to be cocky. I like to be humble. I said Rangers in 5, and boy, would I love it if the Rangers would win tonight. I've been saying all playoff, I like the Rangers. They really did remind me of the Braves team. John's just jealous that I'm right. God, it feels right.
Well, let me ask y'all a little side question.
What's up?
Is this good or is this bad for baseball? Because I don't know if y'all have seen, this is the lowest recorded World Series ratings by a lot ever.
Tell me,
is it lower than the 2020 COVID season?
It's like 8.3, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty low. So I do think that it's good for baseball to get some teams like that who aren't usually in it in there. But I thought that, with the market sizes of Phoenix and Dallas, I thought that there would be some more viewers, but it seems not to be the case.
My biggest thing is I think that people are mad because the regular season gained a lot of traction. The regular season had a lot more fans watching it. But I think where people are getting upset at is, sorry, I'm trying to plug in my laptop before it dies while I'm talking. But I think what people are getting upset about is the fact that crappy teams, or not, I don't want to say crappy teams because they made the postseason, but teams that shouldn't be there keep on making it there. Like, think about it. 2019, the Nationals won the World Series. COVID that was weird. You can't say who was and who wasn't a good team that year. But 2021, the Braves, I mean, let's be honest. We may have had the best second half, but our record states otherwise. Like we shouldn't have been in that position, and we won the World Series. Last year the Phillies went, and now the Diamondbacks are going. And both those teams, the Phillies and the Diamondbacks, were the lowest overall seed last year and this year. So I think that's where people are getting mad about because they were expecting to see the Braves. I mean, you could probably throw the Rangers in there because the Rangers have been a good team, but they were expecting the Braves, the Orioles, the Rays, the Dodgers. I mean, this is probably not the outcome that 50% of baseball fans were wanting. So
No, you're right. I think if you would have asked any Diamondback fan at the beginning of the postseason if they really thought that they would even get out of the wild card, I think that they would have said absolutely no way in hell. And it's crazy. I think does this force nothing causes change more than money, right? Lower ratings means less money. Does this maybe force the MLB to start to maybe look at changing the playoff format a little quicker than what Manfred originally said?
I don't think they might change the playoff format just because we need more ticket sales. If I'm the MLB commissioner, you sell more higher price tickets in playoff of sports. There's way too many games. 162 is way too many games. By the time playoff time comes around, college football's in season, NFL's in season. Now you have the NBA coming in season. You have 3 sports. Now you got NHL too. You got 4 sports you have to compete against. When the NBA is competing against, first half baseball, college football is dealing with really the NFL, so you can't even count that. NFL, when it comes time for it playoff, college football is done. They have nobody competing with them. So that's why those sporting events are so high. You have to give them something not to compete against. You should not have playoffs. Playoff baseball should be in August, maybe early September. You should never have it this late into the season. They've been playing baseball since about March. It's been so long. They just got to stop it. That's my opinion. You take away some of the games and out of the 162 to maybe 140 something, and instead of losing those 20 games, 22 games, you make those playoff tickets, and you still make your money. You just don't have the regular season game, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I always hated that argument of shortening the season just because one of the reasons I love baseball is because it's so long or because it lasts through the summer, I guess. It starts in the spring and it lasts all summer. But I mean, if you do like you said and you take away the month of September, you're not really cutting out that many games. And by August, most people are like most players I feel like aren't in it anymore because they know whether or not they're going to be in the postseason, and they got their mind set on other things. I mean, it's human nature. You can't fault them for it. I mean, I feel like the Braves kind of did the same thing this year. I feel like because we saw how we saw the lack of energy they had in the dugout during the postseason, and I kind of accredit that to them just going hard all season and then just not caring anymore.
That's the thing. I mean, the last thing was our last game for the Braves, but all regular season was October 1st. So really, y'all think about it. That whole month of September, and we all went to a Braves game, and we've seen it before. Those Braves games in September, you can't tell me the worst of teams. Besides a weekend, they're not busy. They're not busy at all. Like they're losing their money spending that whole 30 days of September playing when you really already kind of know who's going to be in the playoff. Like I don't know. I feel like there's got to be something to change because it goes too late into the season, in my opinion. You just got to do something to change it. I agree. They're never changed the playoff format. The only way they'll change the playoff format is to add more teams to the playoff. Just because.
It'll definitely be. I agree. It'll definitely be interesting to see if come next episode we're talking about maybe a game 7. Or if we're talking about the Astros or the Rangers winning this thing, which I think that's probably how it's going to go. But to segue, let's talk a little bit about college football. This is a huge weekend in the sport. I'm really excited. John J-Dub is coming over my way. We're going to hit the the Arkansas-Florida game. Going to go see some Gators. Them Razorbacks is Gator bait.
Ask me what I'm doing. Ask me what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
What are you doing, John? Tell them what you're doing.
Friday, I'm going to the Peanut Festival, and then Saturday, I'm cooking a shrimp boil. Yeah, baby.
Put them nuts in your mouth. Yes.
Yeah, boys. Shrimp boil. They don't want it spicy, so I gotta make it. I gotta, smell with your eyes. Smell with your eyes.
Who
Well,
don't want a
speaking of-
shrimp boil spicy?
Me. I love anything I eat's got to be
The
spicy.
ACOM Golden
That's what
Eagles,
no.
baby. The ACOM
That's
Golden
what I'm
Eagles.
saying. Who doesn't want it spicy?
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
The ACOM Golden
Why-
Eagles. The ACOM Golden Eagles.
They're pulling the upset. All right. Well, speaking of possible upsets, this is a game to start us off college football. A game that I think is probably the most underrated game of the weekend, simply because Quinn Ewers is gone. He is most likely out for this game. Kansas State is a better team than BYU.
No,
Kansas State at Texas. Give me I'm not taking this as my upset of the week, but I am not going to be shocked whatsoever if Kansas State pulls this thing out.
Kansas State's sneaky good. Everybody has slept on Kansas State the whole year. I mean, they lost 2 games already, I believe. They lost 3. They lost 3, my bad. But, I mean, they're slept-on team. I want to go Texas. I'm with you. I wouldn't be shocked. But then again, I'm going Texas. I'm going to go Texas with this one. J-Dub, what you got?
Oh, man. I'm going to go Kansas State. It's going to happen to Texas.
You pulling
They're
for the
not
upset.
they're-
At Texas.
Yeah,
Interesting. Nice.
Yeah, that
So-
is one thing that I'm nervous about is the fact that it's in Austin, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Like Sam said, the lack of starting quarterback. Kansas State's good too. They're not Alabama.
Well,
but
I'll say this: if Texas wins this weekend, they're not losing another game.
No.
You got TCU, Iowa State, and Texas Tech left on your schedule, and then we've talked about it. I think if Oklahoma plays them again in the Big 12 championship, I think Texas is going to boat race them.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
So, well, all right. So I like that. Do not be surprised if the Wildcats. I don't think that would be a shock to the world, but I think that it would be interesting. Well, another
I
not
got
so
this
interesting
next
game.
I got this next game. You got the
What we got?
FAU
What we
at
got?
UAB. Let's go.
FAU big. Todd Herman, UAB Trent Dilfer is terrible. Give me FAU. I don't even have to know the stats. UAB's bad this year. I watched them play.
Who's-
I watched them play Memphis this year. UAB's tough to watch.
Who's Florida Atlantic's coach right now?
Todd Herman.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, give me FAU. But you know what? No, give me the Blazers. Give me John's hometown team.
Let's go, baby. Dragons on top. We're not losing this one, John.
You're a Blazer, not Dragon. You're a Blazer. Who would win in a fight? A Blazer or an Auburn Tiger?
A Blazer. A Blazer all day.
A Dragon.
Blazer.
A Dragon.
All right.
This next one, I put on here because you never can count out a Greg Schiano Rutgers team. I'm telling
Yes. I feel like we say that all the time though, and it doesn't happen.
Well, let me tell you though, you know how Ohio State is. They're number 1 in the nation now. We're going to get into the playoff ranking now after we talk about the games. But Ohio State at Rutgers. It's about time Ohio State maybe slips up. I don't think they're going to lose to Rutgers, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout either. I
Okay,
would
a little side note on that. College Football Playoff Committee putting Georgia at number 2 was the worst thing that could happen to anybody. Because Kirby Smart
Listen,
just does this thing. He's like Bryce Harper. He can take the littlest thing and turn it into a positive to motivate you. I don't know, but rap exactly. So I agree. Ohio State. It's going to come down to Ohio State and Michigan. And I said it on a TikTok earlier. Don't think that if you're outside of the top 4 that you control your own destiny. I think if Ohio State and Michigan, if they go into each other undefeated and that's a close game, I think they're both still getting in.
I agree. John, what you got?
Ohio State's going to blow them out. I think they're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder after being ranked number one. I think that most people with any sense understands why Ohio State got ranked number one. And I am by no means an Ohio State fan, but yeah, I don't know, man. After that first college football playoff ranking comes out, they feel like they got something to prove. Give me the Buckeyes.
Okay.
Nice. I'm gonna tell y'all guys.
Who was that? Was that Hannah?
She scared the crap out of me. I was like, I feel like somebody's watching me, but I'm too afraid to look next to me. And I look
Wait,
and she's
excuse
like,
me. Was that the number one high school volleyball
is.
scorer in the nation?
Yes.
This is
Special
the-
guest,
we
everybody.
have a special guest in the house. The South Alabama volleyball legend herself has the most consecutive matches in South Alabama volleyball history. Welcome to the show. Who do you think's going to win, Ohio State or Rutgers? Ohio State, good pick. All right,
Nice.
I am wearing my Taylor Swift bracelet. Get out.
All right, Texas A&M and Ole Miss moving to the SEC. I'm gonna tell you.
How do we
I
feel
think
about
Texas A&M. Go ahead.
How do we feel about Ole Miss being number 10 in the nation in college football?
I'm not all against it. I kind of like it, to be honest with you. I think they're trying to hype that up again, the Ole Miss Georgia game a little bit, because I think if Ole Miss beats Texas A&M, and then they're probably going to move into number 9 or something after that, and then you got a number 1 Georgia if they survive Missouri, which we'll get into, against a number 9 Ole Miss. That might be like a college game day type of.
So Texas A&M, they play at Ole Miss. I'm going to go with the Rebels. I know I've been saying it for like almost every week. I feel like this has got to be a must-win at Jimbo. Like, because I'm not saying that he can't beat Bama every year, but you got to beat the Lane Kiffins. You got to beat.
No, I agree.
Like you can't lose to Ole Miss.
You have been.
What you think, J-Dub?
You have been saying that a lot. Jimbo's got to win this one. We've all
I'm
been
telling
saying
you, he
that.
does. He does.
Yeah.
It's
No,
bad.
Ole Miss got it.
I think
I
Ole
don't
Miss.
think it's going to be a blowout. I think the 3-point favorite is pretty fair. I give it that. I think it'll be a pretty high offensive game, and I don't think that Ole Miss is going to blow them out.
A&M standing with a 5-3 record, remaining on the schedule after Ole Miss. If they lose, they'll be 5-4. They have Mississippi State, Abilene Christian University, and then they have at LSU. So there's a good chance they can be 6-4, 7-4. They'll be 7-5 this year.
Birmingham Bowl, here you come, Jimbo.
I don't know. Now we're gonna get into we're gonna have a bowl preview show soon after the season. I think the Auburn Tigers, might be in Birmingham, which is not a bad thing. After what we went through with what you went through with Harsin, that's a good year. I mean, I'm not being a smart mouth. 100% serious. That's a good year.
It's all about the South Alabama Jags, dude. All right, we're going to Birmingham.
Okay.
Oh, big game. Do we have that on our list here? We've been talking about that since we're doing record Wednesday night.
It's tomorrow night. Yes.
Let's go ahead and hit that. South Alabama. That's the game of the weekend. Game of Thursday night.
ESPN 2.
4-4 South Alabama against, I believe, 6-2 Troy. Troy has honestly dominated this rivalry, the battle for the belt. They really have. South has come really close, especially last year. Kind of choked it away. I'm gonna be honest. As much as I love the Jags, I think Troy's probably got this one.
Oh, they're gonna.
I really do.
I don't know. It depends which South team shows up. Because 2 weeks in a row, we outscored opponents 55-3. 2 weeks in a row, and then last week we get destroyed.
Well,
it depends what team shows up, but I'm gonna go Troy. I think Troy's got it.
Oh, I think Troy's got it. It's such a South. I'm trying to pull up the record between South and Troy. I told y'all last episode, John, you wasn't here. It was, South Alabama, 55.
I believe it's.
And then I was like, you know what? Watch. They're going to get blown out by ULL. What happened? It always happened. I don't have any faith in South Alabama. How we beat
Just look what happened. You destroy Oklahoma State, and then you go home on your homecoming, lose to Central Michigan. South is a weird team this year for sure.
It was coached by the great Michigan assistant.
Well, all right. So I think we all agreed most likely going to be Troy. But to move back into the SEC, or excuse me, move out of the SEC. Big game. I totally forgot this was happening. Notre Dame and Clemson. This is an interesting matchup.
It was.
I'll let y'all hit this first, then I'll give you my take.
All right, so I have zero faith in Notre Dame this year, as I notoriously state with John. But Clemson's garbage. Notre Dame's got this in the bag. I don't care that it's at Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina. Oh, we're going to run down a hill and touch a rock. Oh, you better watch out. No, Notre Dame's
That is a
got
dumb
it.
tradition.
Yeah. That's a sick cup, Sam. I like that cup.
I think you got it at the spring training stadium down in
Got mine, John.
Northport.
It's mine a cool cup.
Sticky
Got a-
fingers. I love it.
I got. What?
What?
Sticky is. I get it, Joe.
Notre Dame at Clemson. You know, if you would have told me maybe preseason, maybe 2 years ago, that they're going to be playing each other on this week, I would have said, "Oh my God, this is the best week of college football there ever is." To add this game,
No, you wouldn't.
LSU, Bama, Missouri, Georgia, all of them, Kansas State, Texas, Washington, USC. But Clemson's so bad, and I cannot wait for Dabo Sweeney to blow up on another fan or a reporter like he did this week. He has single-handedly made the media hate him even more. Hickory Doc, the mouse went up the clock. So Sweeney got that drip, and now he's on TikTok. Like, I'm just telling you, Dabo has made this the public media against him, and when you do that, it's not going to be good. The student. Tell me if I'm wrong. Did y'all hear about that? What he said to that guy?
Yes, I did, and I'll segue that into my.
I'm going to go Notre Dame. I'm going to go Notre Dame. Clemson is just not looking good for Clemson right now. They're going to have to do something.
Okay. I hear both of y'all out. I hear you. I know Notre Dame is good. I love Sam Hartman. I've said it before. I'm not a huge Dabo guy. I would hate if Alabama got Dabo after Nick Saban. I really would. He cannot adapt. He had his great run there in the 2010s, late 2010s. It was like a 6, 7, 8 year run. Clemson's sitting at 4-4 right now. They've had some embarrassing losses. They've had some close losses. I look at Florida State. And Dabo, you're right. It's he talked about in that call that you referenced to Tyler from I can't remember where in his little call-in show. First off, let me say about that: if you're 4-4 and you're the head coach at Clemson, I know you have your little call-in show. Everybody's got it. Don't take calls. If you're 4-4, don't take calls. Come on now. Like you should have expected that to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree with a lot of what Dabo said in that call. I really don't. Clemson, what he referred to so often as little old Clemson, which let's be real, they are. They're kind of like the Auburn of South Carolina.
You better take that back right now.
Oftentimes they say Clemson is just Auburn with a lake.
Clemson's architect is the same one that Auburn used, and Auburn was built first.
John Heisman also coached at both, and that's why they're both Tigers. Anyways, give me Clemson to pull a massive upset over Notre Dame. I think Dabo's going to go in there with a chip on his shoulder and just pull something out. It's at Clemson. I know it's crazy. Most likely not going to happen. I think if Clemson's going to lose this game, it's going to be by a lot. If Clemson's going to win, it'll be not very much. But I think it's going to happen. Don't write off the Tigers just because they're 4-4 right now. I think his little call, I think that fires up the players on Clemson. And like I said, I think he was right about a lot of it. The expectation has risen past the appreciation. That's what he kind of harped on.
You're right.
So give me Dabo. Give me Dabo and the Tigers. Why not?
To elaborate what you said, you are right. He was right. I mean, I want to say before he got there, they only had 2 10-plus win seasons, and they've had it for 10-plus years now. I mean, I think will be the only year they will not win 10 games, of course. I want to say they won 11 last year, 11 or 10 last year.
It's just
But
so crazy their downfall, man. Like it's almost worth writing a movie about.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Who would play Dabo Sweeney? I feel like only Mark Wahlberg can play Dabo Sweeney.
What you gotta say his last name right.
Wahlberg. Oh, how do you say it then, John?
Okay, I
Wahlberg.
thought you were asking. I thought you were asking out of the three of us who would play him.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
Sam.
damn well it's you. Oh, me?
Yeah,
I would play
Why can I not be
DJ
Dabo?
Oyungalele.
Why can I not be Dabo?
because you got to be Trevor Lawrence.
No. I want to be Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Everybody knows he's guilty.
Oh, 100%.
So next one, two of our people are actually going to be at this next game in SEC country at the Swamp. You got the Razorbacks of Arkansas at the Gators of Florida. But gentlemen, how about y'all talk about it? How y'all excited for the game? What y'all excited for?
Excited. This is actually my first game at the Swamp. Not my first time seeing Florida, but my first time at the Swamp now. So really excited. It's a unique atmosphere from what I've seen. Everybody pretty much stands the whole time. You're very compact, but I'm excited. It is a day game. I know Florida was really wanting this to be a night game because it's their blackout game. Those kids are gonna be hot in the noon sun of Gainesville, Florida, for sure. But I think Florida takes it. I think Sam Pittman's butt is just getting hotter and hotter after every week. I think he will be fired most certainly, at least after the season. And I think Florida's in need of a big win in order just to make a bowl game. Because you look at their schedule, what they have left, they're likely not winning another one after this game. So this is a must-win for Florida if you want to play in the postseason. So give me the Gators.
Yeah, J-Dub.
I too am very excited, Sam. The Swamp is also a stadium I've always wanted to go to growing up. I've never seen Florida play either, so I'm excited about that. It sucks that it's a day game, but John, what's the temperature where you at right now? Well, it's like it was freezing cold here the last few days, and I'm already sick of it. So I'm kind of welcoming that warm temperature. But yeah, I think Florida got this no problem. I mean, it's I called it this as a joke, but it truthfully is the battle of the mid. I mean, it's a toss up, man. Who's worse, Arkansas or Vanderbilt? Honestly,
See, I'm going to disagree with that. I would probably go Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and then Arkansas, maybe.
I can
And
see
then probably
that.
Florida.
Yeah,
And
Florida's up
they're
there.
both bad. I'm not giving
Yeah.
Arkansas credit. I'm going to go with this game. Give me the Gators. I think they're going to put it together. I wouldn't be shocked though if Arkansas can go into Florida and pull off not an upset, but not just lay down. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think they like Sam Pittman enough to want to fight for their coach. So give me Florida, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
I agree.
Oh.
Luckily for us, John, it's actually not. The weather's actually going to be perfect. Low of 58, high 77. It's going to be sunny. I think those players are just going to be hot because they're wearing black.
No, that's perfect, dude. But it's been like
Yeah.
I woke up to 41 degrees this morning. It was just bad.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on. Utah, they got their butts whooped by what this. Do you guys think a duck is intimidating? It's not. I love the duck. It's a unique mascot. A duck is not intimidating, but that's besides the point. They got their butts kicked by Oregon last week. They play a bad Arizona State team. Give me Utah easily on this one.
I think Utah steps it up. Give me Utah. Arizona State, they're not. Usually they're the better team in the state of Arizona. I think Utah, if they got to tighten it up. But yeah, give me Utah.
Yeah, I want to say this because I wasn't on the episode on Sunday. I was very, very disappointed with Utah because I think we were all heavily on them to win that game this past weekend. I'm very upset about that, and because of that, I'm going to go against them this week. I don't know if
You got two upsets this week.
dude.
You got
They
two
they
upsets.
made me mad, man. They made me so mad.
The Sun Devils
I
going
like
for
it.
a huge upset. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, how about this next game? To be honest, probably the second best SEC game. Missouri at Georgia. Number 12 Missouri at number 2 Georgia in the college football playoff. I think this could be. Well, it depends. It depends what Georgia team comes out. This to me is hyping up to be a Georgia's going to pancake Missouri. I mean, pancake. It feels like the
man.
Kentucky game. I think Georgia's going to beat the crap out of them. Give me Georgia.
Dude,
I think they're going to beat. I think they're going to beat Missouri enough to leapfrog Ohio State to get number 1 again.
All right, so going off of what Sam said, I wish that this game was a week earlier because I do think that Missouri would have had a fighting chance. But I've seen it as an Auburn fan firsthand, where Kirby Smart can take one thing and use that as momentum and just blitz. And give me Georgia, man. And if they do win this game, they will jump Ohio State. But I don't necessarily think they deserve that because this still does not give them a better resume than Ohio State has.
Georgia, I'm going to tell you, their next 3 games, is definitely their toughest part of the schedule. After this, they play Ole Miss at home, play at Tennessee, and then at Georgia Tech. That Georgia Tech game ain't much, but at Tennessee, and if they make that a nighttime game, that's probably going to be my upset of the week. But, yeah, I got Georgia beating the crap out of Missouri. So does J-Dub. Sweaty Boy, what you got?
Yeah, I agree. I originally kind of had this one as a possible upset, but the more and more I think about it, and after last night, them ranking Georgia number 2, to J-Dub's point, Kirby Smart, he just does this thing. I don't know what he says in his locker room or how he prepares his team each week, but he just does it in the right way. I think this can be a trouncing, but if Eli Drinkwitz prepares for that and prepares well, I think that Missouri can have a fighting chance. Now, the tough thing about this is at home. This is at Sanford Stadium in Georgia, and they just don't seem to lose there right now. So, yeah, give me Georgia, but if Brady Cook can cook, the Tigers might have a fighting chance. I think they got the best wide receiver in the nation. Luther is fantastic. This Missouri team, this is not a fluke Missouri team. This is a good Missouri team. But I think that Kirby Smart will have prepared well enough to take it and probably cover the spread.
Let me ask y'all a question about Georgia Stadium. Is it turning into another version of Bryant-Denny in the sense of you can play at Bryant-Denny, but it doesn't feel like when you play at the Swamp or you feel at Death Valley or you play at Jordan-Hare, it don't get loud. I feel like ever at Georgia. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like a.
I kind of get that vibe. I've heard Josh Pate say before that he thought Sanford Stadium was like the new Swamp or Death Valley because Kirby Smart said something about like, oh, screw this sitting on your hand stuff. I don't think that's the case. I think it is very sit on your handsy at Sanford Stadium. But I think that's just because they know that they can dominate. It's very much like a Bryant-Denny Stadium where it's like, we don't have to be loud, you know?
Go, John.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, my brother has been to Athens, and he made the comment to me that he said it didn't have the same vibe that Mississippi State Stadium had. And I don't know if y'all have ever seen their stadium, but that stadium is like little bitty, dude.
It looks like a Sunbelt stadium.
It does.
Well,
it really does.
And you know, I was at this past game this past weekend, Georgia, Florida, and that was my first ever intermingling with that many Georgia fans before. And I got to tell you, them Georgia fans are cocky right now, like really cocky. Alabama is cocky in a way that it's like,
no,
yeah, we're cocky, but it's like we're cocky in a way that we're gonna beat you. You know we're gonna beat you, and we don't have to tell you about it.
All right, y'all
we just kind of give you the smirk.
Clip this because I'll never say this again. But the Georgia fans, I have always said, are the worst. They are literally the New York Mets. They are the Dallas Cowboys. They are whatever you want to put them under because they are the most cocky fans ever. They do one thing and think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Alabama, I'll give it to you. You obviously have fans who are cocky, just like Auburn does. But y'all are there's respect between Auburn and Alabama fans. I've always said that. Now maybe not John Rivers and Auburn basketball, but other than that, there's respect. Because how many times have you ever seen a fight break out at the Iron Bowl?
None. I've always thought the Iron Bowl was more of a fan rivalry, but it's like it's a rivalry where it's like, okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on Monday at work. Not like in the stadium kind of thing. But
it's a good rivalry between the players too, because you think about it.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, they play each other in high school and stuff. They know each other. But to kind of end this one here, I think we all are in agreement. Georgia most likely to pull it out. I think a lot of people, and I hate to say it, a lot of people are kind of sleeping on Carson Beck right now. I think he's really developing into probably one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC. I don't know about Heisman talk like some people are talking about.
sleeper,
but
he's a sleeper.
he is a sleeper, and I think he's got some years left. I think he'll be in the conversation going forward. But to move on, what do we have next? Florida State and Pitt.
I put this one on here just to talk about Florida State. So Florida State's obviously going to blow Pitt out. Florida State, really besides either Ohio State or Michigan and maybe Georgia, I think they have the best chance of going undefeated. They have Miami after this, UNA, North Alabama, and they get play at Florida. They have the easiest path to be undefeated. I truly think that Florida State will be one of the, I don't know how many, but they will be one of the undefeated teams in the playoffs.
I agree. But this might sound crazy. Don't sleep on the Pitt Panthers. Why do I say that? Because as much as great as we've talked about Florida State, they've had some struggle wins. I mean, you look at Clemson, you look at Boston College.
Yeah.
I mean, Pitt, Pitt's known for pulling some crazy upsets. I'm picking Florida State big, but keep an eye on this game.
All right. I agree with you, Sam. I don't think that Florida State's going to lose. I think Jordan Travis is way too good for that. I think this will be a game for him to prove something, though, because I don't see them blowing out Pitt. I think it'll be a close game, and it'll be a struggle game for him, but I don't think they're going to lose it.
Well, if they do lose the game going forward, out of their remaining games, they got this one against Pitt, they got Miami, the Lions of North Alabama, and then in the swamp in Gainesville against Florida. Which one are they most likely to lose? I'm going to be honest. I think probably Miami.
Yeah.
You're going to go – I would say possibly Florida too.
I'd go Florida at Florida just because of a rivalry.
Rivalry game. It's in the swamp. Probably going to be at night.
Yeah.
Weird things happen there.
They play different.
This game has never – maybe it's because I don't live there. Maybe it's because it's SEC versus ACC, but I've never really sent this as like a huge rival.
I don't know, man.
I feel like
Tallahassee, and I thought that too, but being here, it's pretty big. I mean, Florida State's got a huge fan base all across the state. So does Florida. I think that this is a pretty big game. It's nowhere close as big as the Iron Bowl or Ohio State, Michigan, but it's pretty big. I mean, for sure. But does everybody have Florida State?
Yeah. Where I live, Florida State, it seems like to me, top half Florida, like Pensacola, that whole region is like Florida State. Like when I go to Academy and all that, besides Alabama and Troy, of course, Troy stuff is everywhere. There's just as much Florida State stuff as there is Alabama, Auburn.
Yeah, that's weird. There's a lot of UWF stuff where I'm at.
The Argonauts.
What?
The Argonauts.
Yes.
Of West Florida.
I'm telling you, you can go to Mobile, Alabama, and not find a single thing there about South Alabama.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But next game, and this game I put it on here because he is one of the underrated sleepers he's on the hot seat. Penn State at Maryland, Mike Locksley, former Alabama offensive coordinator. They're saying he might get fired this year. You got Talia Tagovailoa taking on the Terrapins, taking on the Nittany Lions. Penn State, they bounced back last week, beat the crap out of who do they play? They beat it was somebody small. Penn State, I got Penn State at Maryland. I'm gonna get Penn State. I think they're gonna jump back. The remaining schedule, they got Michigan, Rutgers, and at Michigan State, they'll probably lose Michigan again, and then, and like we mentioned before, after they lost to Ohio State, it's just rinse and repeat. They lose 2 games, always Ohio State, Michigan, and they just start all over again. I don't know. I don't have much faith at James Franklin at Penn State, but give me the Nittany Lions.
I agree. I really wish Tulio would have stayed at Alabama because he'd probably be the starting quarterback right now. Maybe lived out the Tungavaloa legacy, but I think James Franklin's got this one in the bag. Give me Penn State.
Yeah, I'm Penn State all the way. Even though it's at Maryland, I still think this is going to be easy for them. But next game is kind of interesting because they're actually ranked now. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. And it's at Oklahoma State. I know that the Jaguars went in there and did what they did, but don't be surprised if Oklahoma State wins. I'm not going to pick them, but don't be surprised because this is a pretty big rivalry for me.
I am right there with you. A lot of people are low on Oklahoma, and I think for good reason. I think so. They've had. I mean, you lost to Kansas, and you had a great one against Texas, but I haven't been super impressed with Oklahoma outside of the Texas win. I think Mike Gundy, there's been a lot of question about him, and, has he been there too long? Is it time for him to go? I think he's had a lot to say about Oklahoma moving to the SEC, and I think he's going to want to, with this game being in Stillwater, I think Oklahoma State's going to pull this out. This is my other upset of the week.
Oh, I like it. I'm going to go Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's going to bounce back this week. I like Oklahoma State. I think they're going to bounce back. There's no way it's going to be 3 weeks in a row that they're going to struggle on defense. And I got Oklahoma winning. I'm not going to say big, but I think it's going to be close enough. It's going to be a good game.
I agree. I think. But look out, if Oklahoma State pulls this thing out, watch out for their running back, possible Heisman candidate, Ollie Gordon II. He might just be the best offensive player in the nation, maybe behind Jaden Daniels.
Nobody knows who he is, dude.
Nobody knows who he is. If Oklahoma State wins this game, everybody will know who he is.
Yeah.
But to move on, probably the game it's the game of the week.
Can I start
the game of the
out?
weekend?
Game day.
Please start us off, baby.
All right. I don't know why they're making such a big deal about this game. I don't see any world where LSU beats y'all. I'm sorry. I don't. Don't tell me I'm jinxing it.
Get that juju out of here, boy.
No. There's no way, dude. Their offense is the best, right? Defense, completely garbage. I
Watch the offense.
Who? Y'all? Yeah, you're right, but it's not as bad as their defense is bad. It's not. If y'all play like y'all did against Tennessee,
You're right. I mean,
Alabama has to hold. Let me ask this: what's the point threshold that Alabama has to keep LSU under in order to win this game? To me, I think it's 35. I think if Alabama can keep LSU at 35 or below, I think we're good. I think we can score at least 38 points on their defense if we keep up with the explosive plays. But, I mean, they're going to score points.
I think we got to keep them at 40. I think their offense is so explosive. I think they probably have one of the best quarterbacks. I've been saying for a while, I think Daniels is possibly the Heisman winner. I think Daniels is a stud.
I think if they can keep Daniels in the pocket and give him pressure inside the pocket, not let him escape, because you saw what Joe Milton did. You saw what Jackson Dart did. All these quarterbacks, once they get out of the pocket against Alabama and start running, they're getting a first down every time.
I will say this. That is Nick Saban's Achilles heel. He cannot play defense against a quarterback that can run. He never has.
Yeah.
Never has.
I'll agree, but I think that they can score like 50 points on y'all, and y'all still put up like 285 against their defense. I mean,
their defense. All right, let me ask you this: is their defense worse than our offense? I think
yes.
I think slightly yes.
I don't think it's a blow.
But is our defense better than their offense? That's where it comes down to.
That's the big
I
question.
do think
yeah,
that
I do.
I do think that we have. Probably not statistically, but when they're playing out of 10, if they can play out of 10 and don't lose energy, I think it's the best defense in the country, and it ain't even close.
Oh yeah.
But it's a matter of are you going to? I said it last episode. Or I said it the one before.
I'll give y'all compliments, but I think Auburn's defense is better than y'all's at times.
You could be right. You could be.
No, I've been, John. You can say this. I've been the biggest supporter when it comes to Auburn defense all year round. Round.
Yeah.
I'd probably say if we're 2, y'all are 1. If we're 1, y'all are 2. Like it's neck and neck. It's neck and neck. No,
if the weak part though that I think with Alabama, to be honest, I love Kool-Aid. I love Terrion Arnold. But I think if our secondary gets exposed, it's over. And the thing about it is, this has been the talking point with Alabama and with Auburn. If you can't keep the defense off the field, you're done for. It is if you can't score on their defense, Alabama doesn't deserve to be in the playoff conversation whatsoever, right? But I do think that this is going to be a very hyped up game. I think it is a little bit overhyped, like John said, but not as much. I do think it does deserve quite a bit of hype. But I think Bryant Denny's going to be rocking. It's going to be at night. Nick Saban has worked hard to get the crowd back to being a factor this year, and I think it has been. Give me Alabama, but it's going to be close. I think if we can contain Jaden Daniels, that's obvious. It's going to be a win, but give me Alabama. I'm not super confident about it. If Alabama does win this game, I think it's SEC championship time to think about. No offense to Auburn, no offense to Kentucky or UT Chat, but I think that's where we're at with it. Give me player of the game if Alabama wins.
Give me Burden. Burden's got to be.
Give me Jermaine Burton on offense, and on defense, give me the guy who I have just fallen in love with, Jihad Campbell.
Nice.
That's my take.
I think y'all talking about, I think it's a little bit overhyped. This LSU team, I predicted them to win it all preseason. That was my prediction to win it all. And truth be told, they remind me of last year's Alabama team in the sense of they lost 2 games this year, only by 5 points. Well, I don't know if 5 points is that, but they've only lost by a few points. They lost to a shootout, a few points to Ole Miss, lost to I think LSU should be in the top 10 personally. You have 2 losses, and your 2 losses is to the 10th team in the nation and then the 4th team in the nation. There's no way. I don't know. I think LSU's really good. I don't feel like they're getting enough credit because they have the ugly 2 loss next to their record. If they lose this game, in my opinion, I think they could go down as probably the best 3-loss team of all time. I think they're that good. It depends what Bama team comes out. Because if that Bama team that comes out in the first half against Tennessee comes out and LSU puts 21 up on us, there's no way we're coming back. There's just no way. No matter how bad their defense is, because we cannot stop that offense. If they're up 21-0, we're done.
If the Bama defense of the first half of Tennessee shows up, if that's the defense that shows up in the first half, LSU is scoring 30. You're not coming back from 30 in the second half.
That's what I'm saying. If LSU goes up 13 going into the second quarter, we're done. We're done. There's no way we're coming back. I just don't see it. I do think Bama's going to prevail. We've had a week off. They've had a week off. So you're going to see a lot of plays, I think, that are new, especially this week. Saban's birthday was October 31st. Happy Boo birthday. Saban, Heads Up Play podcast. I know you listen every night. I love you. So give me the Tide. Give me the Tide. I think it's going to be close. I want to go 38-34.
Okay, all right. John, J-Dub, what's your thoughts? I know you think it's a little overrated game, a little overhyped, but
No, I mean
yeah.
it's not like the most overhyped thing. I think the stadium environment's going to be really fun to watch. I hope that you and I will get to watch that game together, Sam.
Oh, we watch it. We watch it.
There is an ant on my monitor. He will not go away.
Eat it.
Um,
Eat it.
Yeah, eat it.
Eat it. It gives protein.
Yummy.
it's gone. I just flicked it. I don't. It'll come back in 5 minutes though. I'll eat it then.
Flick it in your mouth.
All right. So
I think the score is going to be 42-28 Alabama.
I actually kind of like that score.
Not bad.
All right.
I do think I think
all right,
40,
run down real
42-31. Let's hit the Tigers, baby.
I'm gonna say this. All right, we're gonna because I gotta go. Heads up, play fans. I gotta be somewhere. But
Let's
all right,
hit it.
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Auburn, Vanderbilt, Sam.
No, what? Give me the Tigers. That is, come on now.
Give me
Come on, you doomer.
Yeah, give me Hugh. Give me Hugh Freeze.
Here's this freaking ant. I just squished
Eat it.
It's gone.
You monster.
All right, I'm kidding. All right, Auburn's gonna win that game, no doubt. Cal at Oregon, Sam.
Oregon for sure. Best team, best Pac-12 team. They're gonna win that one big.
I got Oregon. I think they're gonna leapfrog Washington because leading into the next game, Washington at USC, my upset of the week. I'm going with them again. They let me down last time. Give me the USC Trojans. They're gonna upset the fifth. Washington, fight on. Give me the Trojans.
That would be huge. I'm gonna go Washington. I think they've walked the past couple of games. I think they'll pick it up against USC, who has no defense whatsoever. Give me Washington, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Trojans take it there. And
Give me Washington. Julio Rodriguez is going to show up and just get that place going crazy. All right, last one. Oregon State at Colorado.
Give me D.
Oh, this is an interesting matchup. Actually, I've liked this Oregon State team all year long. We talked about it last episode. JW weren't here, but we think the Colorado hype is dying. Good Lord, if they somehow pull out a win against that, it's going to be right back in Deion Sanders' COCK is going to be right back down the media's throat. But give me the Beavers. I think that they'll win this one pretty easily. I like Oregon State.
Yeah, I'm going Oregon State.
I'm going Oregon State as well. All right, fellas. Well, I have to be somewhere. I apologize for ditching y'all. Y'all are gonna have an exciting talk. I do love some college basketball, not as much as John, I'll admit that. But before I go, got a question. Since tonight could potentially be the last MLB game for 2023, what is one pitcher on the Rangers or on the Diamondbacks that you think you could get a single off of? Because ain't none of us hitting a home run. I don't know how big y'all's ambitions are, but we ain't.
I don't know
hitting
if he still plays for him, but he's old. I'm looking it up right now. Ian Kennedy.
All right, go starter. Let's go.
He was a starter. He has been a starter for the Rangers. He's 38 years old. I'm knocking that thing into the fence.
I was going to say Will Smith. A starter. I mean, not Evaldi.
Well, give me Jacob DeGrom because he has a torn.
Yeah.
Let me, John. Give me Jacob DeGrom.
On the Rangers, I get a starter on the Rangers. I guess I'd say Jordan Montgomery. I mean, I'm not hitting him no matter what, but I guess I'm most likely to hit off of him. And then on the D-backs, I don't know. Maybe Brandon Pfaadt. I think he's playing at a little bit of a higher level than what he should be playing. Yeah. Because I'm not hitting Gallen. I'm not hitting maybe Merrill Kelly. Maybe.
Nah, see, I feel like you'd be better off hitting Gallen than Kelly right now. Because Merrill Kelly,
really,
freaking
he's on everything.
He's pitching out of his mind. But yeah, I think Brandon Pfaadt because he's like 23. He's a rookie. He's still kind of like a college athlete, so that's a little less intimidating. On the Rangers, I guess Jordan Montgomery because it ain't Evaldi and it ain't Scherzer. I'm not hitting off of Scherzer.
I am going John Gray with the Rangers. He was a starter for them.
I forgot about John.
You're
Gray.
right.
John Gray. I'm going John Gray, and I'm probably going to go Fat. I'm either going to go Fat. I'm thinking of a pitcher that has like good junk, who throws junk. Don't throw fastballs because you have a better chance of hitting a junk ball than a fastball in the sense of you can just hang back and hit.
I mean, Merrill Kelly is basically a junk ball
I think give
pitcher.
me Merrill Kelly. I'm telling you, I've not really watched the World Series. I'm kind of turned off by the World Series after. Y'all understand my reasoning. When the Braves are done, I'm done. I'm full on to everything else.
Well, that is it for John. We appreciate him coming on.
Yeah.
Kind of some late notice. It's my fault. It's my fault he's not on the whole time. So we appreciate him coming on when he can. He's got to head out. He is going to watch the World Series. We will talk a little bit more with him maybe on Sunday. If he can make it then, he'll be coming back from Gainesville, I know he'll try.
Yeah. I just want to let all the fans know I will probably not be here on Sunday, depending on what time
That
I
is
leave.
totally fine. We kind of figured that would be the case. So, all right, guys, we do appreciate it.